Now we are going to learn the data guard. Okay.
Yes, bhai. Okay, bhai.
So for data guard, we can say like we hire the data guard for like a backup purpose. Suppose if your production is running and you are having a standby database for your production. Okay. So
Okay.
firstly, the data guard, there is a multiple type of data guard is available in the Oracle database. Okay. So
Okay,
we
bhai.
are going to learn the physical standby data guard. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so there is a real-time apply, and this is the physical standby, which is the redo apply, and real-time means it's a SQL apply. Okay.
Okay.
So we will configure the like uh, physical standby data guard, which is apply using redo, or we can say the archive logs. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is mostly means like company is using in their environment.
Okay, bhai.
So that method only means like for real-time apply, we can say, or logical standby, if you are going to configure, so it will be a additional charge. You need to pay the additional charge to the Oracle. Okay.
Yes, bhai.
And as you know that Oracle product is not a like we cannot say it's means you know that like Oracle is taking the means like Oracle is charging for any of the tool or any of the method. If you are using of Oracle, then it's charging a very like huge amount. Okay.
Yes, bhai.
So yeah, as comparing to other like company products, Oracle is charging more, but they are providing the maximum security, flexibility, and everything. If we talk about the like the security level, so if we talk about the security level, database, Oracle database is more and more secure as comparing to other database. It's completely secure. So that's why Oracle is charging for their product. Like means
Okay.
like if they are charging the more amount, so they are also providing the security, flexibility, or any performance means related to everything. They are providing as comparing to other databases or other product. They are providing like better facility. Okay. So that's why they are charging the more. And also in all over the world, like in BFS side domain, if we talk about the BFS side, means banking domain. Okay. So
Yeah.
maximum, not the maximum banks, I am saying all over the bank, they are using the database of Oracle.
Yeah. Okay, bhai.
Yeah. For the like online loaning apps and everything, they are using the like open source databases. Okay. Maximum are using current, if we talk about the current scenario, so maximum are migrating or like moving to the PostgreSQL database. Okay. Before that, they were using the MySQL database. Okay. So these are the open source database. The MySQL and Postgres, these are the like SQL and document oriented database. Okay.
Okay.
So these are the open source database, MongoDB. This is the
Yeah.
completely document oriented database. There is no like RDBMS related things in the MongoDB. Cassandra DB, they are not having the like Cassandra DB also a like completely document oriented database. Okay.
Okay.
So same like that. If we talk about the current banking sector, so maximum we can say the 80 to 90% of bank they are using the Oracle product only for the
Yeah.
security purpose,
Understand.
right?
Correct.
Yeah. And if we talk about the standby and primary database, so standby it's available for disaster recovery. Means suppose your primary and physical standby database is running in sync, okay?
Yeah.
And your primary database size is very huge, like as I said, like 25 TB, 20 TB, 25 TB, right? 30 TB,
Yeah.
40 TB, okay? And if something disaster happen on your primary database,
Okay.
okay? So in that scenario, what you will do? Because bank will not be shut down for 4 5 days or a week, right? Bank will not shut down for a minute also. You cannot shut down the bank for a minute also because
Yeah.
they need to be up and running in 24/7 scenario, right? And if
Right.
you are having a 20 TB, 40 TB of database and something disaster happen on your primary server, in that scenario, what you will do? You cannot go for the backup and recovery, right? Because it will time consume. It will take number of days to recover your database, right?
That's very it.
Yeah. So like, and if your production, either we can say, suppose you're like you are having a primary server in we can say in Ukraine, okay? We are having a secondary means like the standby database in India, second standby database in like we can say in America, okay? And
Yeah.
third, second means we can configure the multiple standby database from a primary. If you are
Yeah.
having a primary database, and if you want to configure a multiple physical standby, suppose you want to configure the around 5 10 physical standby database. So now with the current version, you can configure. Before that, I think 12C or till the 11G, you can configure around 9 standby databases, I think. But after that, in current version, I don't know how much we can, but it gets increased.
Okay, bhai.
Yeah, so the number of physical standby configuration is increased with the current version. So suppose and now you can see what's happening in the like we can say in the Ukraine. Okay.
Yeah, it's Ukraine
So
as well.
if suppose your primary database is in Ukraine only, and there is, you know that the war is going on. So in that
Yeah, right.
scenario, what you will do? Suppose anyone will come and drop anything to that data center where your primary is run. So in that scenario, what you will do? Either suppose you are having a primary database in Mumbai, okay? You are
Yeah,
having
yes.
a physical standby in Delhi, second physical standby in Bangalore, third standby in Chennai, okay?
Yeah.
So, and all the three like standby is running in sync with the primary, okay? So
Yeah.
suppose if something happen in the Mumbai, okay? So in that scenario means what happened? Your primary will be gone. Something
What?
disaster happen in the Mumbai and your primary will be gone. Now you are having your only the standby databases. Okay. So if you are having other sites, so it means if you are having the physical standby, then simply you need to, if your primary is available, then simply you need to perform the switch over from primary to any of the secondary database. Okay.
Yes, bhai. Yeah.
And if you are not performing the switchover, if in that scenario something happened before the switchover in the Mumbai and your primary will be gone, then you are having your all the secondary data means standby databases is available. So in that scenario, you just simply activate any one of the physical standby. Activate means permanently you will be activate that primary data, physical
Standby.
standby. Either
Physical
you
standby.
can activate the Delhi site, either you can activate the Bangalore standby database site, either you can activate the Chennai database site. So in that
Fine, bhai.
scenario, no need to restore your backup, no need to do anything. because we have the standby databases if something disaster happening on primary side. So we are having a secondary side. So we can easily activate that site and we can start the application from that site.
Yes,
Okay.
right. Got it.
Yeah. So it means it's performing, means it's providing the maximum availability, right?
Yes, bhai.
Because maximum availability means there no need to restore or recover your prime, means like your database from the backup,
Yes.
right? We are
Yeah.
having a database which is available. We are having all the current transaction, whatever we had on the production. We have all those transactions on the secondary database. So we can easily like perform the just perform the switchover, either just perform just if your primary will go, then just activate that physical standby database and you can start the primary database. That's it.
Okay.
Either there is a multiple ways, like if suppose you are having a banking sector, okay,
Yeah.
and your primary database is running in your primary database size is 20 TB, okay, and
Okay.
also you have a physical standby database, okay, and suppose one of the data file got corrupted on your primary and your database will be down.
Yes,
So in
right.
that scenario, what you will do?
We have to.
Because see, you cannot go for the like Armen backups and recovery because 20 TB means if you will be performing the like database recovery and then all, then it will be a time consuming. So in that
Yes.
scenario, also you can do a simple thing because your database, one of the file got corrupted. So in simple way, what you can do, your physical standby is running in the sync with the primary. So you just need to shut down both the databases, your primary and standby database. Okay. And then you need to copy that file from the standby database. Okay. Replace with the primary database and you can start your database and then simply run the recover database. And it will perform the recover database or recover data file and you can give that data file name. Okay. And then
Yeah.
easily you can start your like database and application. So in maximum 5 to 10 minutes, you can do everything,
Yes, we understand.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the benefit. We can say the maximum availability, the maximum performance, the maximum availability, flexibility, everything you can say.
Yes, bhai.
Okay. Yeah. And in physical standby, there is a some modes, some maximum performance mode, maximum availability, and maximum protection. So
Yes, bhai.
by default, your maximum uh, just a second. Okay. So see, there is a like database, physical standby database. Three modes is available in the database. Okay.
Okay.
So uh, so one mode is like a maximum performance. Okay. The max and second one is maximum availability, and the third one is the maximum maximum protection. Yeah.
Okay.
So in maximum protection, what happened now? Ki, like Oracle always suggests if you are going to configure physical standby with the maximum protection, then at least you need to configure more than one physical standby.
Okay, bhai.
Understood? At least more than one means at least two or three or four minimum, at least two you need to configure.
Okay, got
And
it.
if you configure a single physical standby in maximum protection mode, and if it will go out of sync with the primary, means your physical standby database will not be synced in with the primary, then it will means like your primary database will be hung or will be going to shut down.
Okay, bhai.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it means it will provide you the zero data loss. Means whatever the means like if your database is going means like your physical standby database if out of sync with the primary, so it will hang your primary database also. Means you are not able to do anything on your primary server. Okay.
Yes.
Means whatever the things currently you are having on the primary, you are having the same data on the secondary. But if it will out of sync, then it will stop your primary database work also.
Okay, bhai.
So that's why Oracle always suggests if you are going to configure maximum protection, then in that scenario, you have at least two physical standby.
Okay,
So
bhai.
what happened with the two physical standby, if your one of the physical standby will be out of sync, then second will be running with in the sync with the primary. Okay.
Yes,
So
bhai.
there is no data loss also and no performance like no availability issue also. But in the maximum protection, there is a availability issue.
Yes,
Means
bhai.
if your physical standby database if out of sync with the primary, then your primary will be not available, will not be available for the
Yes,
like process or we can say for the operation.
got it, bhai.
So understood now what is mean by the maximum protection, what I said.
Yeah, understand.
Yeah, it means a simple language you just understand. If you are having a means like if your physical standby database will be out of sync with the primary, means if your physical standby not in sync with the primary, then your primary database will not be operational. You cannot do anything on primary database.
Got
Once
it.
you if you perform your like recovery and your standby database will come in sync, then you can start your database about the database and perform the like whatever the operation you want to. But if your physical standby database is out of sync, okay, it's
Okay.
not sync with the primary, then your primary database will be shut down. In simple language, we can say the primary database will be shut down. Okay.
Okay,
So
bhai.
that's why Oracle always suggests if you are going to configure maximum protection, then you need to configure at least two physical standby. If if suppose your one of the physical standby is out of sync, the second one will be running in the sync. So there is no availability issue. Okay.
Okay, bhai.
Because one of the physical standby already running with in sync with the primary database. So there is
Yeah.
no availability issue. There is no impact on your primary. But if the both the physical standby or the if you are having a single standby or if you are having the two standby or three standby, okay. If
Yeah.
all the standby will be out of sync in the primary, then again you will face the availability issue with the primary. Okay.
Okay, bhai.
Yeah. So that is the maximum protection issue. The second one is the maximum availability. Okay. So
Yeah.
maximum availability means what happened if suppose you have configured the physical standby with the primary in maximum availability. So in that scenario, what happened if your like what we can say if your primary database, okay,
Yeah.
and secondary database is running, but your secondary database will be out of sync with the primary. Okay. So
Okay.
continuously your primary database will transfer the like redo data to the secondary database. It might be your secondary will not be in sync or will be in sync or will not be in sync. Okay. But it's
Yeah.
continuously transferring the data to the secondary database, means the physical standby database. So here
Yes.
what happened? Here also the zero data loss in the normal operation, but it will there is no impact on your primary database.
Got it.
Okay, means it will not be means if your database is going to out of sync, or your physical standby database is out of sync with the primary in maximum availability, then it will means like it will not allow you to means like it will not shut down your, or it will not hang your primary database. Your primary database will be available for the operation. Okay.
Yes, bhai.
Yeah. So, and in maximum performance, we can say it's never expect the acknowledgement from the secondary database, means from the standby database. It means we can say if means like whatever the things we have in maximum availability now. So if
Yeah.
it's running in sync with the primary, then it will be running in the maximum availability. But if it will go to the out of sync, or if anything happen on the in between the physical standby and primary, so
Okay.
automatically your maximum availability will be changed into maximum performance. Means
Yeah.
is your primary will never expect the acknowledgement from the standby. Acknowledgement means either your standby database is running in sync or not be in sync. There is no availability issue on your primary. Your primary will be available and it will allow you to do whatever you want to do on primary. Means your primary will be continued.
I
It
understand.
might be your physical standby database is in sync or not be in sync. There is no issue in maximum performance. And maximum performance will be the default database mode. Okay, physical
Okay.
standby mode, default physical standby mode, the maximum performance. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So also you can say like maximum number of means maximum companies are using the maximum performance only.
Okay, bhai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so maximum performance, either you can use the maximum performance, either you can use the maximum availability, because both are not going to like hang, or will not going to shut down, or will not going to hang your primary database. It will not impact your primary database availability,
Yes, bhai.
right?
Yeah.
And the maximum performance will be your default, we can say the default uh, mode, physical standby mode, the default physical standby mode. Okay.
Okay, bhai. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the things which you like need to know. And there, here you can see there is this architecture where it's a primary, it's a LGWR, as you know, the log writer is writing the archive logs here,
Yeah.
right? LGWR writing the like data from the your memory to redo log member, right?
Yes.
Online
Yes.
redo log member. And then your archive log will write the data to the archive log location, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And here we are doing the same. So what's happening here? There is some processes. Okay. Local, like we can say this is called the means which I said na, maximum availability, maximum performance, and maximum we can say the maximum protection. Okay. So
Yeah.
here you can see here it's showing the sync,
Yes, buried.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
sync. Sync means what happened if you are syncing the data. Okay, if your database is running in maximum protection mode, on that time you need to use the sync and LGW. Mean it will write the data from your whatever the things is coming from the
Primary database.
primary to redo log. So what
Okay.
it's writing by the LGWR one,
Yes,
right?
right.
So when
Yeah.
data will come to the LGWR, the sync will replicate the same data, whatever the LGWR having on primary. So it will means like copy those data and replicate it to the secondary data.
Okay.
So where it's copying from the operation where your data is going from primary to online redo log file. So in between that, in your maximum protection, it will copy those data, it will replicate those data to the standby data. Okay. And there is one more mode called uh, maximum performance, right? So in maximum performance, it will write the data, whatever the data is coming to do archive log sequence. So it will copy those sequence data and it will copy those data to the uh, physical standby. And there is one more process is running on the server that is called the MRP process, which will apply those data to the physical standby.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there is a some like online redo log file. There is some other standby redo log file. There is a RFS process that is called the remote file server. Remote file server, it means it's copying the data. We can say it's receiving the data from the primary. It's receiving the we can say the redo log sequence or archive log sequence from the primary. Okay, and it applies those sequence data to the standby. Means it will send it to the archive log and then MRP process will apply all those data to the standby. Right.
Okay.
Right to the means like whatever the sequence it's generate on the primary, na, then
Yeah.
what RFS will do? RFS will send a request to the health server. Means like here, see, I will tell you one more thing here. So here is two important parameter. We can say the two important parameter, file server and file client. Okay.
Okay.
So
Server.
file server will be available on your primary and file client will be available on your standby database. So
Okay.
if any archive log sequence, the file client got to know like, yeah, there is a one archive log sequence we are missing on the standby database. Then file client send a request to the file server to transfer this sequence number from the primary server. Okay.
Yeah.
Then file server go to the archive log sequence. Okay. It read all those sequence. It will capture that sequence and it will say, yeah, we have that sequence. And then it will ask our miss, it will push that archive log sequence from primary to the physical standby database. And then RFS process will receive that sequence number and apply those data to the means like transfer those when file server will transfer the archive log sequence from primary to DR. On that time, RFS process will receive those data, or we can say the archive log sequence, okay, and
Yeah.
put it on the physical standby archive log location, and then your MRP process read the data from that sequence number and apply it to the physical standby database.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then in we can say in sync method what happened?
Yeah.
As I said, there is a SQL apply,
Okay.
right? So
SQL
SQL apply
apply.
in this sense, it directly read the data from the buffer and apply to the standby. Means that is called the real time apply.
Okay.
Okay, that is called the real time apply.
Yeah.
So there is some important process which needs to be like always running on the physical standby. That is called the MRP. That is called the ARCN. That is called the RFS. Okay. If
Yeah.
RFS will not run, then it will not receive the data from the primary. You will not receive the data from the primary because RFS is responsible to receive the data from primary. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is a very important process, RFS.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And also your MRP process. If MRP is not running our physically standby database, then it will not be like